Hello guys, I hope you're doing well. A few days ago I posted a video about decree number 16, which was a controversial decree adopted by the Syrian government and signed by President Bashar Assad, and there was an unprecedented debate on social media and other platforms. Some people were totally against the decree 16, which calls for the organization of the religious affairs in Syria, and others were very pro of this decree. And also there were people in the middle. They were saying that this decree is good because the goal is to minimize the damages, in the future damages that could come from any religious institutions or from clerics and imams and other religious men, which could cause another social strife in the future. The decree called for fighting Wahhabism, called for fighting the Muslim Brotherhood and other Takfiri ideologies, and called for a modern rhetoric, a civilized rhetoric, and called for peace and harmony among different communities in Syria. However, there were also some controversial articles. I did a video about this issue. You can find it on Syrian Analysis, I believe 2 videos before this one. So there was a big debate between the seculars and the people in the middle, and also some people who believe that the decree is totally okay. However, this decree, which was adopted by or signed by President Assad, because the parliament was in vacation, so President Assad has the legal authority to sign on this decree, and he did. But when the parliament came back, and due to the big controversy and the debate on social media, the 35 MPs from the educational and constitutional committees of the parliament, they discussed the articles of this decree, and they decided to edit some of the articles and to delete some other articles from this decree. And today the Syrian parliament voted in favor of the edited version of the decree, and 2/3 of the parliament voted for these edits. And now the decree or this proposed law is once again in the hands of President Assad, that he will adopt and put his signature again on it, and I believe he will do it. However, what are the main changes that happened on this decree? That some people were saying the unedited version will lead to the Islamization of the Syrian society, which in my opinion is a little exaggeration. But these edits, in my opinion, are good, and it serves the main goal of this decree, which is to fight the Takfirism and to cut the way in front of future radicalization of our society. The most important in my opinion, change that happened in this new decree is that the people who work in the Ministry of Endowment are no more pardoned from the taxes. The decree, unedited one, said that those who work in this ministry, they will be pardoned from any kind of taxes and any kind of governmental fees in their work. The Minister of Endowment is no more able to appoint a non-Syrian for a religious duty inside the Ministry of Endowment. The Ministry of Endowment will not have the right to take care the families of the martyrs and the injured of the Syrian army, because the secular MPs in the Syrian parliament, they were saying that if we give the Ministry of Endowment the right to take care of the families of the martyrs of the Syrian army, that means the Ministry of Endowment will have an influence over the families of the Syrian Arab army, which these people are mostly from secular background. The other change is, for example, there was this team called the Youngsters Religious Team. The name is only changed, so this is a minor change that happened. And also the Ministry of Endowment will no more have any kind of influence over other ministries. Also, the Ministry of Endowment is now only able to send its delegations or representatives to other cities and governorates, but to represent the Ministry of Endowment and not to have any kind of controlling or monitoring duties over other institutions. These were some of the actually the changes that happened on the decree. I would like to mention here that the debate that happened on social media was unprecedented, and a lot of people joined this debate, and I was a little bit concerned that it could lead to strife among the different communities in Syria. The seculars, especially the radicals, they were harshly criticizing this decree, and from the other side, the people who believe the decree is a good thing or they have a conservative background, they considered it as an attack on the Islamic religion, and I was concerned that the enemies of Syria could exploit this discussion in order to penetrate and do more strife in the Syrian society. However, thanks to President Bashar Assad and thanks to the enlightened or let's say the civilized and the secular and modern MPs, politicians, the public, the opinion leaders, the activists, those who tried to calm down the street, and they called for discussion and called for the amendment of this decree through legal channels, that means through the Syrian parliament. And in my opinion, the amount of the interest in this issue was very big, and the people who were watching the Syrian parliament to see what changes and what amendments will occur or happen to this decree was the interest was very big. So this is a positive development in my opinion in Syria, and when people start to be active, not passive, and they have their say and impact and influence on the political changes and the process in Syria. And this is one of the changes that we look forward in Syria and want to develop more and more, and in order to have a healthier and better and more open political life in Syria. And our jobs as journalists and monitors will follow the implementation of this decree, and let's see how the Ministry of Endowment will implement it, and whether or not they will implement their promises and their obligations according to this law. So according to that, we can judge whether or not the decree number 16 will have a good impact, or in the middle, or a bad impact. So this was Kevork Almasyan. You're watching Syrian Analysis. If you like my videos, please hit the like button, subscribe, and all this stuff, you know. And if you want to help Syrian Analysis to grow it more and more, you can donate $2 per month via patreon.com. You can find all the details in the description below, and see you next time.